I'm sure that many of you have had to perform incredible stunts in various video games such as GTA or FlatOut, but not many people encounter this in real life. What more, there are some craftsmen whose automobile exploits are simply breathtaking. And this applies not only to professional racers, but also to ordinary people who demonstrate seemingly incredible things to the whole world. Hello there, and today I bring you a look at the 10 most incredible drivers in the world. And don't forget to fasten your seatbelt because it's going to be interesting. Behind this incredible video, with simply shocking and crazy stunts, there's not only the skill, courage, and fearlessness of the driver, but also a touching story of struggle, faith in yourself, and your strength. As it turns out, 15 years ago, this Polish boy was the victim of a terrible accident. And while he was lucky enough to survive, he lost both arms in the process. Many in such a situation would have despaired long ago, but not this racer. Yes, you heard right. In fact, it was his dream from early childhood, but the boy achieved it only when he took all of his will and realized that he would learn to live in a new way. Now he's become a professional race car driver and drives for the national team in the coolest competitions, and it must be admitted that in many ways, this driver has no equal. He learned to drive his car with only his legs, and even today is on the list of the best drifters in the world. World-famous corporations that are engaged in the production of cars regularly compete with each other. Whose product is more comfortable, reliable, fast, and simply cool? And so in 2017, Land Rover placed the world's largest speed bump. Of course, none of the drivers in their cars of various brands could overcome the obstacle. And when it had already begun to seem that the speed bump was an impossible challenge, Land Rover Evoque was released into the road. But it should be noted that not all drivers were eager to experience an attempt to cross a rather serious obstacle. But this guy behind the wheel of the car is probably too tough. Just look at the persistence and seeming ease with which he runs over this speed bump, whose height is equal to the height of an average car. Therefore, once again, I would like to note the unsurpassed skill of this driver. And here we're talking about this big loop. The height of the largest of them was 65 feet, and the famous Terry Grant took the route. In addition, it should be noted that during such a professional stunt, car drivers experience a powerful overload. To avoid health problems, they often undergo mandatory training, which helps them to cope with the overload. Despite the fact that this sight is simply breathtaking, it is still worth noting what risks vehicle drivers take. It must be admitted that only the strongest in spirit and self-confident people with great experience can agree to such daring maneuvers. Well, this is definitely worthy of respect. What you'll now see on your screens does not fit into any framework of reality at all. On February 12, 2018, a hybrid Range Rover Sport driven by Panasonic Jaguar racing team Ho Pin Tung conquered the Heaven's Gate Natural Complex in China. Just imagine this miracle maker and his SUV overcame 99 dizzying turns and 999 massive steps. According to the driver, he took part in the various races of Formula 1 and is also the winner of the 24 Hours of Le Mans race. However, it is this test that he calls the most difficult in his professional life. This incredible and shocking action was called Dragon Road, and it took place as part of one of the largest Dragon Challenge events. Its main goal was to demonstrate the full potential of the new Range Rover Sport Hybrid. Anyone who's fond of sporting events and racing cars knows for sure that Formula Off-Road is the most dangerous event for racers, but it's also called the most spectacular. To climb to the top of the mountain, every driver needs to perform the most miraculous of balancing acts, since their track is incredibly difficult. These are vertical cliffs and sand mounds. Moreover, it should be noted that all this happens at an incredibly high speed. Just imagine, sometimes the track is so steep it seems nearly vertical, but none of the Formula Off-Road drivers are at all scared. In addition, the fact is that the risk of injury in these races is incredibly high, but apparently for the riders, this is not an obstacle to getting new thrills and winning the title of champion. I think you all perfectly understand that the larger the car, the more difficult it is to park it. Perhaps some of you will now say that a variety of devices have long been invented for this, among which a rear-view camera. And yes, this is partly true, but in our world there are also such craftsmen who perform the most incredible turns on the largest cars. Moreover, they absolutely do not use electronic gadgets. In support of these words, I would like to show you this Iveco truck driver. He took part of the Best Driver of the Year competition, and I think he succeeded. Just look at the steep turns he makes. Looking at everything that happens, it's hard to believe that all of this can be done on such a huge truck. But most of all, of course, its perfect parking is impressive. Many of us, even in small cars, experience great difficulties at the moment of parking, and here in such a big vehicle. Do you think that only tuned, expensive car models are capable of drifting and making burnouts? In fact, this is a completely erroneous opinion. As it turns out recently, if you find the right approach, then driving sideways will be available even for such a mode of transport as a tractor. Don't believe me? Then see for yourself. Experts of the Swedish brand Vianor went to this experiment, and they took a 1956 Volvo tractor and pumped it really hard to 225 horsepower, and it was what it was. After an experiment on agricultural fields, the guys were able to find out that even a tractor is capable of making incredibly steep turns, given of course that a real professional is driving it. It's worth giving credit to this driver. He coped with this task just fine. In fact, he was able to do what not all racers can do. And of course, he raised the dust like a real car drifting somewhere in a rally. Trophy trucks, or kings of the desert, that's what these cars are often called. And you know, it's not surprising. They're able to race across the endless desert at speeds of about 125 miles per hour, jump from incredibly steep jumps over a huge distance, and also race over rocks that ordinary SUVs can hardly ride. Trophy Truck Chevrolet is exactly the kind of car that can reach incredible speed, even in the roughest terrain. Well, thanks to the powerful engine and large wheels, the Chevrolet Trophy Truck is considered one of the fastest vehicles in the world, which is used in complete off-road conditions. And of course, in addition to all of the technical characteristics of these trophy trucks, it would be impossible not to note the special skill and absolute fearlessness of their drivers. What they do is definitely worthy of respect, and of course, your like. For the start of the 2017 Rallycross season, the Hoonigan Racing Division has unveiled the new Ford Focus RS-RX racing car, which was developed with input from the Death Spray Custom. The video that they have released perfectly demonstrates a series of amazing and very dangerous stunts. I'm sure not every professional would agree to this. As you can see, the driver handles tight turns and brakes sharply, showing everyone what this sports car is capable of. This guy's name is Ken Block, and he's a famous American race car driver and showman. He very often participates in the most extreme competitions and simply amazes the whole world with his fearless stunts. At the same time, he demonstrates to us a variety of driving techniques which are incredibly difficult to replicate. And that's all for today. What do you think of these dashing professionals? Be sure to write your opinion down in the comment section below, and of course, don't forget to hit like if you like this video. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.